Hey, what's going on guys? This is Frank from the BI Forums, and in this ArmA 3 video, I want to show you guys how to make civilians flee into a random nearby house whenever they hear a gunshot. And this will also have them play a random frightened animation whenever they hear the gunshot. So let's get started to demonstrate this, and then I will show you guys the code and explain how it works. Alright, so now we've already got guys running away and playing random frightened animations. Our 3 animations. There's a standing up guy that we just saw who ran right over there. We got this guy crouched doing this frightened animation, and a prone frightened animation. Like I said, there's 3 frightened animations, and then the crouched and prone animations last a little bit longer when they first get frightened, and then they start to move a little bit afterwards. Once they do move, they will basically run to a random nearby house, and a random position in that nearby house. Anyway, let's go through the code and explain how this works. Alright, so basically this is going to be executing the init.sqf of the mission. This is not the most efficient way to do it, or the best way to do it, but for the simplicity of me explaining how this works in this video, this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to be using a for each command, which is basically for every unit on the map, because we're using all units. So for each all units, subtracting switchable and playable units, which basically means that for every unit that is not a player or a unit that can be played by a player, we're going to execute all this code. So anyway, for all the units that we do find that are not playable units or switchable units, we're going to check if the unit is a civilian. And if it is, we're going to add a event handler to the unit, a fired near event handler. And the first thing we're going to do inside the event handler is define a local variable, which is this select 0. In an event handler, this select 0 is the subject that the event handler is being applied to. This is not only for fire near, but for other event handlers as well. So in this case, the civilian is select 0. Hopefully that makes sense. The civilian is who we're applying the event handler to. Now, what we're going to do from here is add a switch command or structure, which will basically find a random a number from 0 to 3, and depending on that number, 0, 1, 2, or 3, we will have a random block of code executed. In this case, it'll be something very simple. It'll just be changing the animation and then setting their movement speed to full. So if the chance is 0, if the number is 0, then it will give them, have them play the standing up frightened animation and make them move at full speed. If the number is 1, then they will be crouched, doing the crouched frightened animation and run at full speed. And the third one is have them go prone with the frightened animation, and you get the idea. The default case is just in case, for some reason, 0, 1, or 2 fails, because you know how ArmA is, or whatever. Sometimes it just can't find a number between 0, 1, or 2, and so having a default variable or a case is just to be safe, really. And this animation is also the crouched frightened animation. Anyway, let's move on to nearest objects. So we have a variable now that we're going to define. We're going to be making a local variable named _nh for nearest houses. And so nearest houses variable is going to be basically be all the nearest objects around the civilian. As you can see, this select 0 is the civilian, so _civ. So we're going to find all the objects around the civilian of an array that are the kind of these class names. And this is a array of ArmA 2 Middle Eastern houses that I found in Cup. So this will not work on Altus or Stratus or Tanoa. However, I will also put in the description of this video a separate version of this script that will work for those maps as well. So don't worry about it. Also right here, we have the radius. So within 100 meters of the civilian, we will find this array of houses, basically. Hopefully I explained that pretty clearly enough. Moving on. So remember, that's _nh, nearest houses. So now we have a new local variable that we're going to make called _h for _house. We're going to select a random house out of the array of nearby houses that we found within 100 meters of the civilian. We find a random house now, which is now set as _h. Next, we defined house positions. We find all the house positions by using _h building pause -1. -1 will return all available building positions for the object, basically, or the building. And so if there's one position, it will return one position. If there's none, it will return none. If there are 100, it will return all 100 fucking positions of that building. If you get the idea. Anyway, so this basically tells us all, logs all the house positions of the building. Next, we select a random house position that out of that, array of house positions for that one building that we've selected. And then finally, we tell the civilian to move to that house position that has been selected. That's as simple as that. Also, we remove the event handler from the civilian at the end because we don't want this to become a spammable event handler. For example, if we did not have this right here and we just kept shooting, then you'll see the civilian, like, every time he hears a gunshot, he goes into a random frightened animation and then is finding a new house to move to, and it's very spammable and looks very wonky and dumb. So we remove the event handler so that he can't do this shit anymore after he flees and all that. So anyway, it works pretty well. It's not as polished as it could be, but it works. Like I said, it works pretty well. So whatever. What you saw is what you get in this video. So anyway, hopefully, if that's what you like, cool. Then you could use it. And yeah, hopefully this video was helpful. And if it was, great, like it. If it was not helpful, then I guess move on. But yeah, anyway, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Do what the fuck you want. Happy New Year, and see you guys in the next video. Frank out.